Hey everyone, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Laura, and we're Married with Board Games. If you've been listening to our podcast, you'll know that one thing that really makes us happy is food.
And not only do we like to eat food, but we like to cook it too. And there's just something about putting just the right amount of just the right ingredients together to make a delicious dish that feels very rewarding.
In fact, I'd argue that it feels a lot like a board game. So when we heard about a little game called Wok on Fire, in which you get to take a turn at being the chef, we knew we had to give this little game a try.
But did the game leave a bad taste in our mouths? Or do we consider it a delicacy among board games?
Let's take a look.
Wok on Fire is a set collection and dexterity card game from Green Couch Games. It's for 2 to 4 players and only takes about 20 minutes to play.
The premise is simple. You have ingredient cards on the table and you want to collect the right items to make the best combinations of food to get the best score.
But this isn't your typical set collection game. We mentioned earlier that this is also a dexterity game, and we'll explore that aspect in just a bit.
But first, let's take a look at what you get when you buy Wok on Fire. This is everything that fits inside of this nice little box for Wok on Fire. First, you have your aptly named takeout menu and rule book. I love that the font is so reminiscent of an actual takeout menu, complete with dividing everything up between the meats and the veggies, just like you would find when you're trying to decide what to get tonight when you pick up your takeout. And so it also folds in half so that it fits nicely inside your box. We have our 4 spatulas for our 4-player game. Aren't they all so cute? And they're each one different color. So you'll pick your spatula, and each player will also get one of these nice little player aids to help you know your turn sequence and also help you with your scoring at the end of the game. So here in the middle of the table we have our wok setup. So let's look at our turn sequence. First we start out with 2 stir fry actions. Stir fry is like we talked, that's flipping the cards. So let's give it a try. And here's our first flip, and whew, oh man, cards are flying everywhere. Now technically that is falling out of the wok. So I would need to flip that back in. So we'll pretend like that did not go flying out. And then we're going to do another flip here. Okay. So your next action in the turn sequence is you pick up 2. So now I get to pick 2 ingredients that have shown up here to pick up. I'm looking at my player aid here, and I'm seeing that, ooh, getting a lot of onions is good. And also let's see, next to shrimp, pork are the second highest scoring meat. So I think I'm going to pick up this onion here and this pork here. In order to pick up a card, at least one corner of the card has to be exposed, and the center of the card has to be visible as well. Now, on the turn sequence, my next action is to chop 2. So very easy to remember. You stir fry 2, you pick up 2, and you chop 2. The way you chop is you pick up 2 cards, and you go a little something like this. Whoops. Okay. You're supposed to hit them out of your hand into the wok. This one kind of went astray, so we'll just kind of put it back in there. And then action goes to the next player. You keep going around the table until this deck is completely gone, and then you go one more turn around the table, just nobody gets to chop. And then when you get back to that last player who got to chop, that's when you will use these nice little player aids to help you with scoring your set.
Let's take you through our thoughts. Let's start with the physical aspects of the game first, starting with artwork. What do you think of the artwork?
I think it's cute.
Yeah, it is pretty adorable. Everything...
Well, it's fun.
Well, yeah.
It's whimsical, and I like that.
Everything has a smile on it for the most part. And
Even if you're about to eat it.
the little piggy has it's almost like he's tasting himself. Delicious. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And
well, even all the spatulas, each individual player gets their own spatula, and they're all going, yum.
Can't wait to eat. So yeah, the artwork is fun. It's easy on the eyes and fun to look at. And the card quality, they're real thin. So
well, they have to be. You don't want it would be hard to flip.
That's true.
If they were very thick.
That's true.
So
you have a good point
they
there.
do have to have just the right amount of heft, but not too much.
Yeah, very true. Okay, and then the other thing we want to mention about the physical aspect of the game is, for some reason, I don't know if it's our copy, but we had a really hard time, and we still do, a really hard time taking the lid off the box.
Opening the box.
It takes us about 5 minutes.
It's quite comical. In fact, I really think we need to post a video.
Let's do it.
Trying to open the box. I mean...
But I mean, if it's good, because when you drop it, your cards won't go everywhere. So I guess that's a perk.
We haven't actually tested that. I did mention that to Spencer.
Yeah.
What if I dropped it? I bet the cards would all come out then.
Yeah, so that's not really a mark against the game.
We didn't
but
want to hurt our box.
It is difficult to open. Moving on to the rules. How do you think the rules worked? Were they pretty straightforward?
Yes and no. Some things were incredibly straightforward.
Yeah.
In fact, not even just in the rule book. There's each player gets their own little...
It's like a menu.
Yeah. And there are some things that are very straightforward, like the onion. If you get 1, you get 1 point. If you get 2, you get 6 points. If you get 3, you get 15 points.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, for a set of 3, you get 18. Those kinds of things are very straightforward on the card. But then there are some other things that we did need verification.
I think the main thing, the one that we were kind of wasn't very clear to us, was that it mentioned how it says when picking up ingredients, you must pick up all the chickens if they're on the board, and it wasn't clear to us.
Right, yes, you had to go to extensive lengths.
Board Game Geek to figure it out. It wasn't clear to us if it meant if you see chickens on the board, you have to pick them up. No, what it meant was if you pick up a chicken, you've got to pick up all the chickens.
All viable
Yeah.
chicken that you can.
Yeah, so you don't have to pick up all the chickens, but if you do choose to, that was just one thing that was a little unclear to us. Overall, everything was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I would say this game is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of fun playing this game.
Yes.
And it scales well for player count. It's great as a 2-player game, right?
Yeah, we've played it at all levels, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and it works at all of those.
Yeah.
And it really is a blast flipping those cards over, not knowing what you're gonna get when you flip them over.
Well, and then what was funny, because we did that in that order. We played 2-player, then we had a 3-player game, and then we played a 4-player game. And when we added the other person, they started showing us other strategies we hadn't even thought about.
Right, exactly.
You know,
like if there was a card,
honestly, you would just flip for your stir for action and then just flip again. Well, she was intelligent enough of, I don't want to have to pick up the green pepper and flipped it back over.
Yes,
and
for some reason that didn't occur. It didn't occur to us. But yeah, and then
or if you don't want to pick up all that chicken, flips them back over.
Exactly. So yeah, the flipping is fun. What do I pick? Am I going to be able to complete this set?
Well, and then chopping.
Chopping.
Make it rain.
I am horrible at chopping. But
it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, but just my hands.
I can't say that I'm any better than him.
It's true. And then what else? It's a blast. Just flipping those things over and watching them go and seeing how many somebody can flip over. It is a lot of fun.
Well, and I can see how people would easily associate this as being akin to Sushi Go. And I don't think it is at all, because in the card drafting element of that game, you're looking at what other people are getting and you're going, I need to keep them from getting that. But I feel like more in this game, I just have to get the best sets possible.
Right.
I don't know that you can necessarily worry about other people unless you're doing the thing of you get some garlic and you get to give a card to another player. Because you want to tell them what I like to do?
Laura loves to give me broccoli because
you need to eat your greens, young man.
whoever has the most broccoli at the end of the game loses 5 points. I think that speaks volumes to say that nobody likes broccoli. So the person who gets the most
total lie
loses points because broccoli is yucky unless it has cheese on it.
I like broccoli.
But yes, Laura loves to make me lose points. But all those different little elements of you can kind of be mean, but not too mean to where it's not too much of a...
But it is its own game.
Yes.
All what I was saying was it is its own game.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's a quick game. The 20-minute time length is perfect. It's just long enough. It doesn't drag. It's just enough turns for you to get done what you need to get done.
Exactly. That is right. It's just enough turns.
And using your card to flip the other ingredients feels silly, but in a good way. I mean, we laugh the whole time we play.
Yeah. If you're just trying to flip one card, or if you just decide, I don't know what I'm going for, and you just go whole hog and flip every single card in the wok, which is possible. We have seen it happen.
We have.
It's silly. It's fun.
It really is. It's silly fun. And our bottom line for this game is Wok on Fire is a tasty little game that doesn't outstay its welcome at the dinner table.
Without the dexterity element, there wouldn't be much setting Wok on Fire apart from the others in the sea of set collection games. But that physical act of flipping your cards, hoping to reveal the items you need, is what really makes this game shine.
And with it being a short game, we don't feel like there's any danger of the flipping and chopping getting old, unless of course you play it over and over and over again, and you'll be tempted to. So as long as you take this game in small servings, you'll have a great time.
Of course, if you don't like dexterity games and would prefer to craft an in-depth strategy, this most likely isn't a game for you. But at the same time, don't get so hung up on the card flipping thing. It's meant to be fun, so have fun with it.
And we've posted a great action shot of me doing some flipping on our Instagram account, and we'd love to see yours. Tag us and follow us there, as well as Twitter, @MarriedWithBG.
Thanks for watching, and I think I smell something burning. Did you leave the wok on?
No. I gotta go check on something real quick. We give Wok on Fire the Dice Tower seal of approval.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.